Hello, hello. How's everybody today? There we goes. All right. Okay. Good. Hello and trick or treat to all of you. Hope you're having a spooktacular weekend, everybody. I came in just a couple minutes early just so I can say hi and make sure that my comments section I can see it. So today we're gonna have fun with Winnie the Pooh stuff. So cute. So cute. We're going to be working with a different medium today too. We're not going to be using Copics. We're going to be using Zig clean color markers. Yeah, I thought I'd mix it up because I'm sure you guys out there have obviously different mediums other than Copics. So I wanted to share this one. All right, let's review some of the things that we're going to use today. So we're going to be working with water-based products. So we're going to be using Versify, and Black Onyx is my favorite. This is a standard. I use this a lot of times for my sentiments if I'm stamping in black. Hello, Melissa. On the East Coast. Hope everything's good with you. We're going to be using the super adorable Impression Obsession. This is the Pooh Wreath, and he is so stinking cute. This is a stamp set we're going to use. We're also going to be using stencils by Spellbinders, and I didn't realize when I had bought these things are huge. These are actually 8.5 by 11 stencils. So if you are a scrapbooker, these would be magnificent. I mean, look how huge this is. Look. Holy. This one is called the Diagonal Buffalo Plaid. So you can see it a little bit better when I take it off the backer here. So it's got squares. And then some squares are kind of like etched. And then some squares are open to make the plaid. And then the other cool one, this one is called Twinkle. Because it's made up of different sized stars, basically. There's a large star, and then medium stars and small stars. So yeah, this one's a neat one, for sure. And both of those are Spellbinders. We're also going to be using some of the new Distress Mica stains. This is the Christmas #1 set. So Merry Mint, Cocktail Party, and this one is Shiny Bauble. Yes. And we're going to be using some Zig clean color markers. These ones are really nice because #1, they're a little bit less expensive than a Copic marker. So they're more affordable. These are water-based, so you can treat them like a watercolor. And you can get them in small packs, medium packs, and large packs. So, yeah. All right. Hi, Jenny. Happy Sunday. Yes, I know Winnie the Pooh just doesn't go out of style, does it? All right. So I'm gonna put my giddies away. I wish I could share them with you. I was sharing them with the cat earlier. I thought he might come and visit us today, but he's not an on-camera dude. It's my little girl that comes and visits. Okay, thirsty. So today we're going to be making one card, but you guys get to kind of choose the elements. Hello, Karen. So we can go blue or we can go pink. So you guys get to decide, and we'll go from there. So which would you guys like to do? There's a couple of choices for you guys to choose. Could we use Tombos? Karen, I'd love to use Tombos, but I don't own any, sadly enough. Pink. Melissa votes pink. Bonnie saying blue. Hi, Bonnie. I got one. I need a tie-breaking vote. Pink or blue? Pink it is. Thank you, Jenny. Okay. So, I have already pre-stamped this because we're going to use some watercolor paper today. So, I've already pre-stamped this with my VersaFine. Okay, this is a pigment type of ink. And this is used with water-based mediums, okay? Yes, tiebreaker Jenny. Woohoo! Okay. So, this time, we are going to start by coloring our Winnie the Pooh, because he's so cute. Alright, so I'm going to start with this. This is just a laminated piece of half white cardstock. I'm going to use that as my palette, because I can't find palettes that work for me. So I just laminated a piece of cardstock, so it's not like super flimsy, but it means I can like tuck it in to store it, and I can use it over and over again because I can actually wash this in the sink. As long as you have enough plastic seal around the edges, it doesn't get wet. So, alright, we're going to start with Pooh, because he's just too adorable. And the nice thing about these is that you can kind of color off and make your own color. So, Pooh on this card, he's quite bright. I mean, if I bring in the other one, so, see how bright he is? And see how soft this guy is? So I'm going to make him a little closer to the softer Pooh, because this is more classic Pooh right there color. He's not actually like bright yellow. So to do that, I'm just going to take, this is yellow, and I'm going to scribble off on my laminated piece of paper here. Now these, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but these actually have brushes. They're not a nib, so they actually have bristles on them, and that's why they're called real brush markers. So these ones are quite nice. Okay, then we're going to add, this is orange. And we just need a touch of orange. So I'm going to scribble it down the side. And then, it would help if I grabbed my paintbrush. You can actually use marker to paper. Absolutely, 100%. But this time we are just going to go like this just for Pooh. Okay, so I'm going to actually mix up some of my color here, and this is the beauty of having a larger palette. And of course you could do a full sheet of cardstock to have a larger palette too, and I had one, I don't know where it went. Yes, you can save your packaging from your dies. Absolutely, Karen, that's a great tip. Just cut off any edges. Yeah, just make it flat. Okay, so we're going to keep most of the color. I'm going to kind of keep a highlight on the top of Pooh's ears and the top of his head there. Okay, and I haven't wet down my paper. It's going ink to paper straight this time. Because you can wet it down and apply your ink that way, but I thought, nah, not today. We'll make it fast. And the highlight on the top of his snout. Okay, we're going to go down his back. And again, you can go marker to image, to paper. But because I needed that blend, that's why we're doing it this way today. Alright, all the way down his leg. There we go. And we're going to color, make sure we get all in there. His shoulder. And I'm also going to leave a little bit of a highlight on his torso, just at the top. And his arm that is outstretched with his cute little cardinal. And we're going to do the same for this arm too. I am I'm trying to pick up as much ink as I can here. I'll leave a little bit of a highlight on the top of this arm. More towards the bottom though, just because I think his shoulder wouldn't have as much of a highlight. Almost done his body. And this, I mean, this is easy, right? Just simple, paint it on, slap it on. Because that's kind of what watercolor looks like, right? Because you have these colored areas and non-colored areas. So now, to intensify his shadows, this is light brown. Everything is labeled on the bodies of these markers. We're going to lay a little bit of light brown on our palette. Hello, Miss Rhea. And we're going to add just a touch of water. And of course, the more water you add, the softer and more translucent your color is, right? So you can go, oh, you know what? It's not going on as thick as I want, so let's go right straight from the brush. So we're going to go down the back of his ears, across the top of his forehead, back of his ears, and I'm just kind of splotching it on. Because if you look at the Pooh cartoons, it's not perfect, and he's hairy. So by giving your shadow a little bit of texture, it's just adding to that Winnie the Pooh feel. So don't be perfect. Yay! And I'm just going anywhere where I think shadows would be. So I'm going to put a little bit on the back of his arm too. Under his arm a little bit. Tiny bit under his paw. And I am going to do kind of like a shadow above his eyebrow and his eyes. And that just kind of makes things inset. Okay? And of course, if you want to blend them out a little bit, you can take water over this image. And it will soften those just a tiny little bit. And of course, you can scrub a little bit with your brush and make them even softer. But just even by touching it with a brush is like, ta-da! Look, you're an artist. Are you soggy today in Vancouver, Rhea? Oh, you poor thing. That's not good. All right, let's do the pinky tones in this image. You know what? We really need to bring you in a little closer. Let's bring you in a little closer. Hang on. If I can get my camera to cooperate, we'll be good. Okay. So, because our pink is more so kind of dusty rose-ish, I picked out Pale Rose, and we're going to use this deep red, which is kind of like a burgundy-ish color. Okay, raining for 5 days. Oh, you poor thing. That's not good. You're going to be waterlogged, Rhea. You thinking about building an ark? Yeah, I don't blame you, girl. Okay, so with our Pale Rose, we're going to go straight in. And again, you don't have to color perfectly to make a watercolor look watercolored, if no other way to say it. So I'm leaving some pieces uncolored. There are going to be some white spaces left. I'm trying not to put my side of my hand into anything wet. So, and I'm also going to do our cute little cardinal, and our cardinal isn't going to be bright red like he typically would be. He's going to be kind of rosish colored, but that's okay, you know, artist choice. Just coloring in all of our cute little berries, and sometimes you have to find them because they are tucked in some places. There we go. Booty fell. Okay, then we're going to take our deep red, and I'm just going to go down, like when the card's sitting, Pooh's going to be sitting on the left side, so I'm going to do a little bit of a swoop on the underside, but more so on the left of my berries to indicate that they're in shadow on that side. So by keeping my image this one direction, then I'll know all of my shadows will be on the same side that I put them on. So left, lower left. Some of them, like this one here, you could actually go completely shadow because it's tucked. Maybe it doesn't have as much light, just like that little fella. And so it's, you know, you're the artist, you get to choose. This one seems like it's going to be tucked, and we got a couple up here. I'm just going to go back and touch. There. This one looks like he's tucked too. And don't forget about our cardinal. We're going to do his breast pretty much in darkness. We're going to accentuate his cheekies because they're so darn cute. All right, there. Ta-da! Yes, these blend like, oh, like butter. Okay, let's have fun with some, you know what? Let's go some bluey greens and some green greens for our holly and our leaves. So this is drawn kind of with two different kinds of leaves. There's a holly leaf and then there's kind of like a simple broadleaf. So let's mix it up. Let's mix it up. Okay, so I'm starting with, this is the lighter of the two. This is mid green, and we're going to use, olive green to do the shadows. So I'm going in, brush to paper. And these ones, sometimes you have to kind of find, you have to interpret, interpret which ones are holly and which ones are not. Because they're all intermingled amongst the image. So you just kind of pick which ones you think are holly, because some of them aren't as obvious, and then pick which ones are not. And again, you don't have to be perfect with a watercolor, because watercolor just, it's so nice when it's done loosely. And of course, it doesn't have to be perfect for a base layer either, because if you know you're going over some spots to add shadow, ta-da! Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So these are, I love these markers. Rhea has a whole bunch of different collections of these. I think the smallest collection is like a set of 4. And I believe the largest set, I want to say, is 24, but there might be one that's a little bit bigger than that. And if you can get the bigger set, obviously you have more options, but you can always buy them like 4 by 4 by 4 at a time too. But they're a great price point for a coloring medium, especially a water-based one. Okay, I think we've got all our holly. Oh, there's a little itty bitty one peeking out. You just kind of have to look for the frillies. I think we've got all of those. They make us all look talented. Yes, they do, Rhea. Good. We're just putting our shadow color in. And again, you can be piecey with this. Like, if this leaf is tucked behind him, then only do that side. Or if this leaf is tucked underneath those two, just do the end. You too can color like an artist, because you are an artist. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, and actually looks better when it's not done perfectly. Just looks more authentic. Yep. I like these ones because they're curled. Yes, they're kind of pretty. And you get to choose. And like, again, I'm just kind of mucking around basically. And if there's something that you don't like, you're like, oh, maybe I don't like that. You can actually take water on just a good old paintbrush, and you can take water on the brush, put it to the spot that you're not totally happy with, and use a paper towel and pick it up. So add water, mush it around, use your paper towel, pick it up. So you can actually sort of fix what you started. It's not going to be perfect, but you might be able to get the majority of the color off. Okay, so your choice, guys. We can go in with a blue leaf with, see how the holly is blue, but remember we're doing a pink background, so we can do blue or we can go and do this color or another shade of green. So green or blue leaves, because I want you guys to be able to contribute to our card today. So we can go blue or we can make ourselves another color of green, because that's always fun. Blue or green? Bonnie says green. Bonnie says green. A couple more votes. Bonnie's our lead runner here. Rhea says green. Okay, I'm thinking we got 2 votes. All right, let's go green. So this is where you get to make some fun colors on your palette again. Okay, so this green was made with our, let's see if it is made with olive green and a touch of the turquoise green. So again, this is where you can make new colors. Because it's water-based, it's easy peasy. So there's our olive green put down on the mat. And then I put a little bit of the turquoise green into the mix. And that's how you change colors. So we're going to bring in our water. And then we're just going to mix our palette up. And see how it brightens up that green just by adding a little teeny bit of that turquoise. It just makes it another shade of green. And we just have to apply it to our leaves. So we're just putting a base coat down of our basic green, and we can go in and make a little bit of a darker shade to do our shadows. And again, not rocket science. Yes, this is so fun. This would be a really good image for your kids to do, because it's such a nice big image that they would have a ball coloring up a card for grandma or auntie or somebody special like their neighbor, giving it to mom or dad. These stamps are so cute, and of course they would, I would think, relate to the character too, for sure. Just trying to hit up all of the other flat leafed pieces in our wreath here. And Pooh is just playing with his little cardinal. Need a little bit more water in here. Come on, little fella. If you make your color easy to create, you can always go in and create another blob of it on your palette. Just trying to find all the gaps that need to be green. Color easy. It's like almost as easy as, woo, color by number. We have one underneath Pooh too. I don't want to forget that one. There we go. There's only 2 kinds of leaves, so, and only 1 kind of berry. Whee! Super fast, right? Because that always helps when making cards. Especially if you're making multiples. I mean, you could make a few of these at a time, like stamp them all out first, watercolor them all. These would be fussy cut. You could do these in a circle die though. I think that would be really easy to do. Okay, I think we have all of our green leaves. So now we're just going to make a little bit darker blend. So we're going to scribble down a whole bunch of this is our olive green again, which was our base color. Okay, and this time we're going to go with, this is Persian green, so it's a little bit darker teal. And I'm just going to put a couple of streaks through there, and then we're going to give it a mixy mix. And it just darkens that just a little bit more than our previous color, so therefore we can use it for our shadow color. And of course you can go sparingly with this, right? Just tap it in. Some of your leaves are almost completely in the background, so you can do them fully green. Some sit behind, obviously, Pooh's ear. You could even do them without. I mean, don't have to put a shaded color on it. I just think it looks a little bit richer, for lack of a better term. There we go. Really, really easy. And we just made our own color. It's just like mixing real watercolors, right? To get your authentic color. We're going to do that one fully. Do a little bit for this guy. Again, you can be messy. And that's what I love about simple watercolor, right? Because it doesn't have to be perfect. Thank goodness for that. And you know what? People are going to go, oh, that looks wonderful. And all you did was bloop stuff on. Because it's as simple as that. Alright, making sure we get all of our little fellers over here underneath. Some are definitely buried. Okay, and then we got one little one that's really dark just because it's tucked. There we go. We have a fully colored Winnie the Pooh. Super cute, right? Okay, let's move the water out before I end up wearing it. Or it goes all over our project, because that would not be good. Okay. Next thing. Whoa, we got flying tweezers. I don't know, Rhea. Now, I knew that. Yes, Winnie the Pooh is named after a bear that was in the Winnipeg Zoo. And his name was Winnie, and that was back in, I want to say, the 1930s, I think. Because Winnie the Pooh has been around for a long time. Yes, he is a Canadian icon. Yes, he is. Okay, I'm just cutting off the excess here. Whoop. Thanks, Jenny. So, I'm just fussy cutting it because I like my stuff fussy cut. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of take a thickness of barrier that you want to add. And notice I am turning Winnie and not my scissors. Because if I was to do this to try and cut things, that would be super awkward. So whenever you're fussy cutting something, turn your object that you're cutting and not your scissors. Because you can more easily rotate Winnie the Pooh than your hand. And it would make it really uncomfortable to do so. And even though there's lots of leaves and cracks and crevices, you could cut this very chunky on the outside. You know, you could do that more so like this. And that would work okay. Absolutely, you do you. I just happen to like showing those leaf details because it just makes it pop off your card, right? Especially when we're going to do a colored base, like our pink base here. Yeah, it just makes it showier. So you don't need to take the time to do this. You can make it, oh no, we forgot a leaf. It's all right. You can barely see it. See how he's tucked underneath? It was just a skinny mini. But you know what? I'm not worried about it. It's so skinny mini that you can't see it. It's not there, right? Exactly. It's not going to miss a little green. And really, if somebody can call you out on it, look, Allison, you missed coloring a leaf. Oh, you're such a bad girl. Yeah, no, nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to be nitpicky. Not that much. Not even your mother. I hope not. So, question for you guys. Have you started your holiday cards yet? Are you finished making your holiday cards? Have you sent out any holiday cards? Yeah. Just curious. Okay. There's our cute little Pooh. So cute. Okay, let's make a background for him. Okay, so this is the twinkle background, and the other one was the plaid, the diagonal buffalo plaid. So would you like plaid or stars? Plaid or stars? Because we can use whichever one you guys want on our background. Let's put our scissors up above. Baby steps, Bonnie. Yes, one thing at a time. Yes. I mean, we're going into November this week, so I mean, there's still a good month before you really have to start on them, right? Not even started, Jenny? Yeah, you guys have Thanksgiving first. Are you going to squish them all in those 2 weeks before December 1st? All right. Okay, I'm just going to grab a piece of printer paper here out of my printer because it's clean. And while you guys are telling me plaid or stars, we'll put some adhesive down on our paper, and then you take your good old arm or your sweater or your pants and stick it to your tape so it's not so sticky. And then you're going to apply your piece of cardstock. Now, I'm using watercolor paper because I want the same texture as my Winnie the Pooh. That's why I chose to use that kind of cardstock, but you could use a white cardstock for sure. So, we are going to do pink, but I need to know stars or plaid. And we're going to need our mica stain in a moment. Rhea says stars. I like the stars. They're one of my favorites. So, a mica stain. If you look at the bottom of the bottle, see, look at this. This is all the mica particles, and because they're so heavy, they like to go to the bottom of your bottles. Depends on how you store them. Mine was on its side, so it's all right here. So you want to, there's supposed to be mixing balls in these, or at least one of my bottles has a mixing ball. This one does not. I'm not quite sure why, but they're supposed to have a mixing ball in them. And if you swirl around, it's supposed to pick up that mica in the solution, and it just makes everything more even. So we're going to get our stars stencil out here. 1 second. I'm just trying to get rid of that big blob in the bottom. Definitely works better with a mixing ball. I'm not sure which one of these. Yeah, see, my blue one doesn't have one. Oh, guess where do they have mixing balls? Guess not. Okay. Make sure you got a lot of that mica running in through your solution. And right now, I think this is as good as I'm going to get. Okay, let's put Pooh aside. We don't want to mark him up. We are going to use our Peppermint Scrub by Catherine Pooler. And I'm just going to grab a red brush. And we're just going to do a light application of our peppermint scrub here. And I always dab off on my scrap paper first. And then we're just going to do a soft, if I can get my paper to stay in one spot. Just a very, very soft application onto my paper. And this is great, the application of a brush versus another different kind of ink application tool, because the bristles are very, very tiny, they pick up smaller amounts of ink, but also allow you to make a more even inking across your project, just because the hairs act differently than, say, a sponge would. So I'm just trying to make it even. So I do have a few kind of whiter spots. You'll have to make do with my jiggle at the moment, because my table is moving. So it looks pretty even. There we go, nice soft application of our peppermint scrub. And we're going to bring in our stars, because Rhea wants some stars today. And this is where you can eyeball, because you can see your edges of your piece of cardstock. You can line up your pattern however you want. But this one is a very linear pattern, so once you kind of find a spot that works, you're good. We're going to take some low tack tape just to keep it in one position. And this is where we're going to use the exact same ink. And I'm going to apply ink more so to corners and a little tiny bit down the side than anywhere else. For almost like a fade in the center. And of course, if you want to darken it, you just go over that area a few more times. Same color. And of course, if you want it subtle, then you just do a quick pass. Just going around the edges, darkening my corners a little bit more. If you're into inks, Catherine Pooler is one of my favorites. I also like distress oxides because they're super yummy. And if you guys already haven't seen this shop, the new distress color is in the shop. It is called Lumberjack Plaid, and it's a nice, gorgeous red. Yeah, and you know, Rhea, I could have swore one of the... Oh, yeah, see, my blue one has a ball, but my other two don't. So I was kind of confused by that, but that's okay. Okay. I knew one of them did. Okay, for cleaning your stencil, this is a water-based ink, so you just wash it. Just go to good old water. Thank goodness for that. Don't even have to use soap. See, isn't it pretty? It's kind of got a fade in the center. Okay, now we're going to apply our Distress Mica. Okay, now I can do this one of two ways. I can do this the messy way or the not so messy way. So I'll show you the not so messy. 1 second, I gotta grab. Hopefully this won't block the camera too much. This is my makeshift splatter box. I just took a box that I think came from one of my Amazon purchases, and I just cut the top off. Pizza boxes work good for this, because if I don't put this up, so my screen is like right here, so my screen gets all splotty-dotty. Okay, so you can do this in a couple of ways too. If you don't want to spray, because the spray head gives you a lot, like a lot. And I don't want a super amount. So I'm just going to open my bottle and see how it has the tube. And I'm just going to tap it. And I get fewer spotty dotties, which is kind of what I want. Woo! And you could just dip it in again. Okay, if you want, just tap it off on the lid or the side there. I probably tapped it off too much. Okay. And then I just let it kind of randomly drop. Come on. Or you can take it and put it on. Sometimes I do this. Put a little blob on the side. Okay, or you can spray it into a blob. And then I take my paintbrush and dip it into my blob. Paintbrush. Because this too will pick up the mica into the fibers. And you get much smaller splatters, which for whatever reason I like smaller splatter. And you can be a little bit more finicky as to where you place it. Okay. So just splatter to your heart's content until you think you're done. Dun, 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 dun. Call it done. Yeehaw! Okay, let's put that away. Move our box out. I always keep it within reach here. And then, of course, this is still wet. So I'm going to bring in my heat tool. We're cheating like that today. All right. Sorry for the noise. Give me a second. Because sometimes you're impatient, right? Come on, little dots. Come on. And of course, if you don't like the big splotches, you can take a paper towel to them too. Just dip a corner in and pull up the ink. Come on. Always keep your tool moving. You don't want to put burn marks on your paper. Ask me how I know. Almost done. It's always the big blobbies that take the time, right? Okay. And there we go. So this stuff dries kind of like a bright or kind of like a soft pink. I like the color on that peppermint scrub ink. So we need our Misty, our mini Misty. And I'm just going to, oh, clunk. There go my magnets slamming together. You guys probably have the same problem. Okay, let's bring in our Pooh, because we just kind of want to mock up where he's going to sit. And then we're going to go back to the stamp set. We're going to use Berry Merry Christmas. Messy. Messy is fun. It's okay. All right. And then we're just going to, let's put it off to the right-hand corner here. Pick it up. And this is where I love my Versamark Onyx black ink. 4 sentiments, because my card is dry. I'm not going to do anything more to it. So the ink is not going anywhere. So this is a nice crisp ink. And I will do this over my Copic colored stuff too, because I know I'm done and I'm not going to touch it. So sentiments for me are generally the last thing that I add, which is super cute. There, dun, 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 dun. And usually it's really juicy. I mean, I've had that pad for maybe 12 years. I've never had to re-ink it. 12 years. Get that? So I'm just gonna use my Lawn Fawn cloth. Can't scrap without this either. Must have. And I'm just going to peel that off so I don't forget where I put it. Okay. Put it back on your stamp set so it doesn't walk. There is our Berry Merry. And then we need some foam tape. You got your card from last week? Yes, Karen. Sometimes video doesn't do it justice, right? Yeah. Put your hands on it and see it in real color. In real daylight. Alright, and I'm going for a couple of strips because I'm an over-adheser. Okay. Ba-da-da. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Okay. Pat it, make sure it's firmly on there. Because we don't want poo flying off in the mail. Ooh, fell. Okay. Making sure that Pooh's on here in the orientation that we want him. Ba-ba-da-da. There we go. Okay, 1 second. I'm just going to grab a card base. Normally I do a top folding, but this week I'm going side folding. So I cut a whole whack of them and then just score them, and they're all ready to go for my cards. Then I don't have to search for a card base. Okay, sometimes I have to trim. I don't know why my paper is not 8.5 by 11. You'd think that companies could get that right, but apparently not. Just putting on my ATG, my favorite tape adhesive. Lasts me forever. And I love it. Okay. This is going to be a bugger today. Okay. Hang on. Adhesive is sticking. Now, see how I said sometimes they're not 8.5 by 11? Bring in thy trimmer. Don't forget, these are in the shop too. These trimmers. This is a must-have, especially if you're having problems with your trimmer. Try a guillotine. It's like night and day tools, and the bottom's gonna bug me too. It's got this tiny, tiny bit of white showing, and like it's a hair, and it'll cut the hair off. That is off. That's how sharp it is. It's an amazing trimmer. So that's a big tape runner. So here, I'll show you what it looks like inside. So this is almost full. This is a full one. And I use one a month. Now you gotta understand, I make probably 30 cards in a month, maybe a little bit more. So this will last me an entire month. Because I buy them by the dozen, and I only have to buy them once a year. And I use it a lot. So if you are looking for a great product, this is definitely one for sure. And I think Rhea carries them in the shop too. Yeah, and it's you're not throwing away a lot of packaging either, because all it is the ring and then the waxy paper backing. So yeah, it's a fabulous tool. Must have, another must have, or at least I recommend it. Now, I'm an over adheser. Okay, would one of you lovely people who is here today, would you like today's card? If so, make sure that you've left at least one comment on the post today, and I will do a comment picker chooser. I usually get my son to do it, and he will send you a wonderful card. And all you have to do is, once I post at the end here, I will pick a name immediately within 2 minutes, and I'll post it on the thread below, and that lucky person will get this cute little Pooh card in the mail. Yes, see, Rhea's got refills and the actual tape runner, because there are actually different colors. There's pink ones. I have a red and actually have a yellow. This one is different because it's a wider width tape. This one is quite a bit different in width than the other one, but you don't need this one. This is more so for somebody who does a lot of photograph mounting and stuff like that. But I do highly recommend this one because it's the perfect width for putting everything on. Hi, Sandy. Indiana. So yes, take 2 seconds, put a little comment below, and then I'll have my son pick a winner, and then I will post your name down below and tag you. And you just have to send me your mailing address, and I'll send that card off you tomorrow. Hi. ATG, I knew what you meant, Sandy. So yeah, if you're looking for any deals, there's the Tim Ideology stuff is all 30% off in the shop until midnight tonight. I don't remember if it's midnight Eastern or midnight Pacific. Maybe Rhea can put that in the comment section. So if you love Tim Holtz Ideology, make sure to check out the sale because can't go wrong with stuff on sale, right? Awesome. So check out the zigs. Check out the stains. Make sure you check out those stencils by Spellbinders, especially if you're doing junk journals, stuff like that. These would be perfect. And of course, you can't forget Pooh. Check out Pooh too. And there's a couple of images. Like there's one with Eeyore and Piglet that is so cute. Eastern. Okay. Midnight Eastern for that sale. Oh, and Rhea says huge flash sale tomorrow. So you guys got the deets. Got the deets early. Awesome. Okay, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you learned something or at least got to see some new products that you haven't seen. And I'll post the winner in about 2 minutes. And I will see you again soon. Thanks, guys. Now if I can just reach the finish button. Hang on, don't get dizzy.